Well, I really wanted to film outside because it's such a beautiful day and a nice pretty background, the river in the background, but it did decide to start being windy. I need to get me one of those little microphone things that people wear. I don't know if I should be like taking breaks when the wind is blowing or if it's gonna be like picking it up or not. All right, so we're just gonna attempt filming outside. The wind, I don't know, the audio may be kind of whack. If it's really bad, I'll just refilm it inside, but it's so pretty outside today, so I wanted to film outside. So today I'm back with another pre-trail video. I've got my handy dandy notes because I can't remember anything that I'm talking about. So we're back with another pre-trail video of how I have been training / preparing for my upcoming through hike. For anybody that may be new, my name is Jessie and I'm going to be through hiking the Appalachian Trail starting into March 2022. So we're just a couple weeks out at this point. I'm going to be heading northbound and I'm going to be attempting to vlog my hike. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you want to be notified when I start uploading. So like I said, we're back today with kind of like a training / preparation video for my through hike. I hate to say just training because like that sounds so dramatic and like I'm not really like training, I'm just like exercising a little bit. Anyways, let's just get into it. So I've broken this down into 3 categories. I've got physical training, mental training, and then just some like silly things that I threw in there because I thought it was cute. So when people talk about training for a long distance through hike, I think most people's mind typically go to physical training, like how you're preparing your body for the hike. So we'll start with that. Just a disclaimer, I don't know anything about anything, so just like take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is what I'm doing. I'm not suggesting that anybody else do it. So related to the physical training that I've been doing, I guess just a little background on my physical fitness. I consider myself to be an active person, but I wouldn't consider myself to be like an athlete of any sorts. I did do Orange Theory for several years, which is like HIIT classes, and I have been on and off running for many years, so I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like new to the exercise game, but I'm definitely like not out here doing the most either. When I started thinking about how best to prepare for my through hike physically, obviously I was focusing on cardio and endurance and then building leg muscle. So that's kind of what I've been doing. When I was still living in Nashville and I still have my gym membership, basically what my workouts looked like was just a quick warm-up on the treadmill, usually maybe like a mile to a mile and a half at a 1% incline, and then I would hop over to the stair stepper and try to do the stair stepper for 15 to 30 minutes at like a 4 to 6 level intensity, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not. At the time I was still working at my job. It was busy season, so I didn't really have a lot of time to dedicate towards going to the gym. And I was just doing the best I could, and I went probably 2 to 3 times a week, and then on weekends I would try to like get outside and do something outside, whether it be running or hiking in local trails around that area. So that's kind of what I was doing for maybe like 3 or 4 months leading up to my start date. That's kind of like when I actually started training. And then a couple weeks ago I moved from Nashville back to my parents' house, and I'll be staying with them until I actually start my hikes, so roughly a month or so spent at their house. And during that time I have quit my job since then, so basically what I've been doing to train at their place, since I don't have a gym membership, is they do have a treadmill at their house. So I've been warming up on the treadmill, either fast walk or light jog, just for like 5 to 10 minutes at a 1% incline. And then I will stop. I will put on my full pack, which includes a full food bag and probably 1 liter to 1.5 liters of water. I tried to weigh it on like just a generic scale, and I think it was around like 25 pounds. So that just gives you kind of like an estimate of what I was working with. So I'll put my pack on, and then I'll bump it up to a 10% incline on the treadmill, and I'll throw on some YouTube videos of other thru hikers and just pass the time away. I try to do at least 30 minutes on the 10% incline, and then I'll drop it down incrementally from there. So I do 30 minutes at 10% and then drop it down to 6% for another 10, 15 minutes or so, drop it down to 3%, and then down to a 1%. And then I usually like to end my workout with bumping it back up to 10%, because it's like that's when you just need to like empty what's in the tank, like everything, all the energy that you have left, like just empty it out at the end. So I typically try to do like an hour to an hour and a half on the treadmill with my pack on, which honestly it's quite challenging and difficult to do, and I'm definitely like I'm feeling it at the end of each workout and the next day especially, and it just like has made me very aware of the fact that like I'm going to be hiking all day every day with this pack weight on, so like so it's good training, I guess. And it's working. Like I can definitely feel myself getting stronger and whatnot, so that's good. After I get off the treadmill, I usually try to end my workout for the day with some light stretching. I like to change it up because I get bored pretty easily, but sometimes I like to just look up YouTube videos of like yoga for beginners, or one that I really like is this girl, I think it's Yoga by Adrienne. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's it. And she has like a yoga stretches for runners, which is really good, because basically the stretching that I want to do after doing cardio and legs is focusing on stretching out like my legs obviously, but also my hip flexor and my Achilles heel as well. So I think like doing yoga stretches for runners kind of like addresses those two. So been doing a lot of yoga / stretching also, which I have never been good all my life. I've never been good at keeping kind of like a yoga / stretching routine, and that's something that I'm gonna try to focus on while I'm hiking, because I really think it can be make or break for like knee pain, hip pain, ankle pain. So I'm just trying to get in the habit of going ahead and starting stretching on the daily, so that when I'm on trail, it just comes like second nature. Like at the end of the day, just stretch, you know? So that's kind of what I've been doing for like, I would say the majority of my quote unquote training, my physical training. Some other things I've been trying to do to kind of like physically prepare myself is obviously hiking, which my parents live in South Mississippi. Right now I'm in middle of nowhere, Alabama. But that being said, there's just not really that much hiking around here. But I did meet up with some friends that live in Huntsville, and we went to Montesano State Park and did some hiking there. I have some clips, so I'll insert that. But that was fun and a good way to just kind of get used to carrying my pack and like, you know, the inclines and stuff. So that was a good time. That's another way that I've been kind of preparing. And then the last thing related to my physical preparation is, this sounds silly to say, but trying to gain a little weight. I'm actually quite a petite person. So one of the concerns I have is just getting out there and just burning so many calories during the day while hiking, and then not eating enough during the day and not having energy and losing weight. And I don't really have weight to lose, you know, so it could just be dangerous if I start dropping weight. So I've been trying to gain a little weight before the trail and just kind of like get in the habit of eating a lot, because I'm one of those people that when I work out or exercise, I tend to lose my appetite, which is like not good. So I've been trying to get in the habit of just eating all day every day. So that's what I've been doing. It sounds silly to say, but like it's something I've been doing, so whatever. So that kind of wraps up like the physical training that I've been doing for my hike. Next we'll go into kind of how I'm mentally preparing for the hike. I've been doing a lot of reading. I mentioned in my last video that I was going to be doing some reading, and I got a lot of good suggestions. So I've been checking out some of the books that some of my subscribers have suggested. That's one way that I'm mentally preparing. I think it just gives you a good picture of kind of what to expect while you're out there. So that's one thing. And one of the books in particular that one of my subscribers, he actually sent me some money to purchase the book, which is so sweet. And I thought the book was great. It's Appalachian Trials by Zach Davis. It just kind of goes through more of the psychological aspect of hiking the trail, because, you know, people say that the trail is like only 30% physical, 70% psychological. So it seems kind of goofy to say that I'm mentally preparing myself, but I think it is important. And one of the things that Zach Davis suggested in his book Appalachian Trials was to write down your intentions for hiking the trail. Obviously, everybody has their own personal reasons why they're out there hiking. Everybody's in different stages of life. You've got people that are retired and this has just been a lifelong dream. You've got people that are fresh out of college and they don't know what they want to do with their life yet, so they're going out there to figure that out. And you got people like me that are just middle of your career and you realize you're just not happy and want to pursue something else. So, you know, everybody's got their own intentions and their own reasoning for going on the trail. So he suggests writing that down, which I have in the notes of my phone, and I'm also going to be writing it in my journal, which I'm going to be bringing out there. And so that way, when you have tough days and when you have hard days, you can reference back to your reasons for why you're out there and just kind of remind yourself of why you even started this journey in the first place, and to just be thankful that you have the opportunity to even do this in the first place. So that's kind of how I've been like mentally preparing, just setting my intentions and making sure that I have an appropriate expectation of what's to come. And obviously, like, there's gonna be unexpected occurrences. That's just part of the trail, and that's totally fine. But you just have to be ready to expect the unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make sure that you know that there's gonna be hard days. You know, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. So, like I said, that's kind of the mental preparation that I've been doing. And then some of the like just random silly things that I've been doing to prepare. One of the first things I did was download the Far Out app, formerly known as GoHook, and purchase the Appalachian Trail maps. I think it was $60 for the full bundle. I've been kind of trying to play around in that app and just make sure that I really understand how to use it. It's got everything you need. It's got your offline navigation, so you can download it directly to your phone. You don't have to have service to access it. And then a lot of good information on town stops, water supplies, shelters, elevation, all the good stuff. So that's what I'm going to be using mainly for navigation, and I've just been trying to like kind of familiarize myself with that before I get started. Another thing that I did was buy my parents a map of the Appalachian Trail, and I put a little sticker on it that says Jesse's here. And so throughout my hike, they'll be like tracking my location, and they'll be able to move the sticker and kind of follow it up. I'll be real, like when I saw this map unfolded, I was like, dang. I was like, this is a lot of walking. I don't know. It definitely put it into perspective when I put like the sticker at the very bottom. I was like, I got a long way to go. But I think that'll be fun for my parents, just kind of like follow along and see like a visual of like how I'm progressing. The next thing I did was make a food list, which again, this is like kind of silly because it's like you don't really need to plan ahead on this type of thing. But I'm the type of person, when I find a specific food that I like, I will just eat the same thing over and over and over again until I'm absolutely repulsed by it, and then I'll go years without touching the food again. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. So I started a notes in my phone of different food ideas that either I saw other hikers eating, or just some things I thought of, or like maybe going to the grocery store and it's like, oh, that'd be good hiker food, you know, things like that. Just so when I get to town and read supplies, I can reference that list and say, I haven't had this in a while. Maybe I'll pick that up instead of going to my go-to ramen noodles, you know? And then the last thing that I've been doing to kind of prepare for my hike is practicing setting up my tent. which again sounds silly to say, but I thought it might be fun to time my tent setup before my hike and then maybe mid-hike and then at the end of my hike to see how much faster I get at setting up my tent. So I'll insert a clip of me setting up my tent in the backyard and show the timer on that. It was bad. I was having some issues with the rain fly. This was the first time I'd set it up since going on my shakedown hikes, so it wasn't my best. That's pretty bad. So that's kind of just the big picture of how I've been preparing and training physically and mentally for my upcoming through hike. Thank you all for watching and stay tuned. I will have another pre-trail video coming out soon, going through some of my DIY projects that I have planned for my gear. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and subscribe below, turn on the notification bell if you want to get notified whenever I post that. And then like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm now just a couple weeks out from my start date, so it's really starting to feel real, and I'm just so anxious and eager to get out there and get going. And I've actually thought about maybe trying to do daily vlogs instead of like semi-weekly vlogs, which is crazy, I know, but I've been watching several people that have already started their through hikes, and I feel like I tend to like the ones that are the daily vlogs. I like how incremental it is, rather than sitting there and watching like 3 or 4 days in one. I just think the segments make it easier to digest as a viewer. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe doing daily vlogs now and just doing shorter videos. We'll see once I get out there. Like I said, I'm not going to commit to any kind of timeline necessarily. So maybe I'll try it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go back to my original plan of doing semi-weekly, but we'll see. Stay tuned. The only way to find out is to subscribe and follow along. And while you're at that, also go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to check out some of my other videos, I've got a shakedown hike, I've got a gear list, I've got it all. So that'll all be linked at the end of this video. Go check that out before I hit the trail. And I will see you guys shortly with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.